Hello, I am pleased to say that Voin is now out in early access. For any newcomers who don't know what this is, Voin is a first-person action RPG made by a solo developer. We are going to hack, slash, loot, and now boot. The kick is new, it interrupts enemies, it's great, we'll get into it later. Now, if you're one of the newcomers, I've already made some videos for Voin during the playtest phases of the game a little earlier on. The most recent one was only a few weeks ago, and I highly recommend checking it out after this video if you want to see more. I'll leave a link in the description. If you like what you see in the video, you can go and grab Voin for yourself by following my link in the description or the pinned comment, which will take you over to Steam, where you can enjoy a juicy 10% discount to celebrate the launch. Also, if you're good and stick around for the end of the video, I'll show you where 3 treasure chests can be found in the tutorial. And finally, a huge thank you goes out to Voin for sponsoring this video and letting me get a hold of the early access version of the game a few days in advance so I can get this video ready for you on day 1. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. So if you're familiar with Voin either from previous videos or maybe you played the playtests that were out a few months ago, there have been some changes, there have been some adjustments to how things are, but what I'm going to be tackling in this video specifically is we have a whole new area. That's right, if you watched the first 2 videos, I was dominantly playing on this more island-style area, which is the Hadrican. That's where we were playing before. We didn't have any other areas to explore, so if you're new and want to check out my previous videos, at the very least the most recent one, that one was all done on the Hadrican area, but now we have access to the all-new Necrosever. In addition to that, the Necrosever is the intended first area that players will be expected to go to when you begin playing Voin. The previous area, the Hadrican, is actually like the next area after that. That's area 2. This is the first. Speaking of the first, I've literally never walked into this map before. This is my first impression of it, and I'm already very pleased with what I see. It looks so pretty, dude. Now, I will definitely show this at the end of the video when I go over the 3 secret treasure chests that I found in the tutorial area, but what I also got was a power stone circle crystal thingy, a new power upgrade, basically, which lets me unlock the vortex straight away. Am I gonna slap? Do I have to do anything with this? We assign it to 1. There we go. And Vortex, if we remember from the previous playtests, throws the sword. That's a new animation! You can return to the hub area and call down a sky portal at any point. You just look straight up and you'll get your prompt to get a portal down. It will create a sky beam somewhere on the map, which you can see from just about anywhere. And from there, you'll be able to go home, but you have to manage to get to the beam. Now, I'm very briefly going to go over the mechanics of the game. My first go at explaining all of this was long-winded and bad. Thankfully, Editing Beelz is here to save the day with a hopefully better explanation. So there are 2 different states you can be in, with your sword put away and your sword drawn. You move faster with your sword put away, so get used to getting rid of your weapon after you've done combat. You have access to a super dash while your weapon is away. You can see it in the bottom right. Doing this will cost 2 dash pips. You can see them in the very bottom of the screen. These are also used for your regular dash, which you use in combat to avoid getting hit by enemies. But the super dash will send you a lot further in general, but will also have momentum, so you can shoot yourself straight up into the air if you want. And this is very useful and is necessary for a lot of the parkour and exploration, because there are a lot of hidden things around the map. You can climb buildings, climb rocks, all of that good stuff, so definitely get used to using this. You can even aim yourself straight up. You can have a 1 jump, super dash, double jump, super dash again, which gets you just high enough to be able to do a lightning strike attack on the ground. Just by falling from high enough, you will slam into the ground and do AoE knockback style damage. It's very good for engaging combat, and is just really, you know, sick to look at. Now, when your weapon is drawn, however, you move a little bit slower, but this is how we have to fight. So we have our left click, which does our basic light attack. You can hold in your left click for a heavy attack. Typically, there are some weapons that have bonuses or benefits to you using this attack, but for the most part, you can get away with just kind of hacking and slashing away. As I said, you can do dashing to avoid enemy attacks. It is very important to note that you can attack and dash at the same time. Your dash is not locked behind animations of pretty much any sort, so as you're attacking, holding up your heavy attack even, and waiting for your chance to strike, you can be dashing to avoid attacks. It's very good. Get used to it. This game wants you to be moving very nimbly. Your right click is an overhead vertical chop. This has a couple of different uses. It is your runic strike and is also your charged up knockback attack, which I will show when we go down here and kill one of these two goons. We also have our kick. This is a new addition to the game. This will interrupt enemies trying to do an attack to you. Some large, especially strong boss type enemies will not get staggered by this. But for the most part, it also does a ton of damage, and it's just good to use on cooldown whenever you have access to it. I've already shown you the first of my abilities. The other ones that you see down there, don't worry, I'll get them in the video and show you. But your abilities are just cooldown based things that you can throw out there to do extra damage. Important to note, when your sword is put away, if you attack at an enemy, you will draw the sword and lunge at them. This attack also will consume a knockback charge and will stagger enemies. The knockback pips are the yellow ones that you can see in the center of the screen. These will just recharge over time. They come back pretty quickly, as you can see. So feel free to kind of go ham with your knockbacks if you want to stagger an enemy to death. The combat cycle is getting used to putting your weapon away, using your dash charges to kind of weave in and out of combat, and using your tools at your disposal, like kicking an enemy who's about to hit you. However, you do have a dash for a reason, so while enemies will try and hit you, and you can make them whiff, they don't just automatically get to hit you if they try and attack. They can, you know, try and you can move out of the way. But you can also dash. When they glow yellow, that's your time to dodge. As long as you input dodge while they're glowing yellow, you will escape the attack. Ignore that guy dying back there. I've got an effect that does damage whenever I successfully dodge an attack. Now, in addition to this, if you're turned away from an enemy or you're surrounded, you can see that little blue arrow going around the screen. That's bringing your attention to who's attacking you. If they try and hit you, that little arrow will also go yellow, so you have the knowledge of when to dodge. Even if you're not directly facing your enemies, it's very, very good. In addition to all of this, I may as well show you the lightning slam, which does consume a knockback charge, but is very, very good. It's a great way to enter combat. Get up high, fall, you consume a charge, and it's just a nice way to get some free AoE damage. You can be dodging around, just swinging, doing stuff. Don't get hit, hack a dude up. It's very, very good. Put the weapon away, start super dodging, get to the next pack of enemies, wherever they may be, and continue to fight. It's also worthwhile knowing that momentum, similar to other melee combat style games that are in first person, is an important thing. So for example, if I have my sword sheathed, I can attack and hold forward to keep going straight, or I can attack and pull back and stop myself from going too far forward if I think I might be going into a problematic situation. In addition to this, your weapon's hitbox is tied to where it swings, so you can swing it and pull the weapon across the screen like this in order to hit more than one target at a time. It's very, very useful for hitting multiple dudes. Die. Now, you can see there are runes on my weapon. There are 3 of them, kind of hovering off from the face of the weapon itself. These runes will charge up as you engage in combat. We have all 3 of them now because we smacked the dude. These are used for our rune strike, which you can do once it's fully charged just by hitting your right click. It'll do a bunch of melee, you know, physical damage, and also unleash a bunch of lightning damage at the same time. This is dictated by what runes you have equipped. So right now we have a minor rune of energy flow. It has 3 rune slots on it. You can see it has like a little 3 over here. And we'll also have effects pertaining to what happens when you do your runic strike, or what happens while your runes are charging up. There's a bunch of different runes you can have. I've gotten rid of most of the extra ones, but this will help you customize how your runes will affect your gameplay. Ranged enemies do exist. All you have to do is dodge out of the way of the ranged attack. You do have some iframes on your dodge, so if a ranged projectile is coming towards you, you can dodge right through it. It's a little bit tight. I recommend in the beginning just getting used to dodging left and right, because that way, even if you don't perfect dodge it, you won't get hit. Enemies do have a decent little bit of tracking. Some of the later enemies especially will track their attacks towards you a little bit better. So if you're moving in one direction, they will lead their shots. Get used to weaving left and right if you want to stay safe. The sheath and unsheath is a really good thing that you can do if you're a new player to get used to spacing and dealing with enemies. This is a little bit cheesy, but it is a safe way to get in and out of combat if you're not entirely confident with your abilities. Be sure to weave in kicks, rune strikes, and heavy charge attacks to stun lock your enemies and give yourself the best chance at winning. I see a funny looking orb up there. Is that one of my sky nodes that I can finally use? So in the original playtests, there were sky nodes that I later learned are supposed to act as waypoints that let me teleport around the map and get traversal done a lot quicker and a lot easier. Is that a chest? It is a chest, hiding in plain sight, as they would say. Now, is it a sky node? It looks like a sky node. It is a sky node. So I couldn't use these in the playtest, but now we can. So this is my little beacon. At any point, if I look to my sky node, I should be able to teleport to this, the Cathedral of Veiled Lament. Metal name, dude. I love it. Kill that little guy. Give me loot. Is this... Have I run straight to a problem? Oh, I have. Nom, the Summoner of Tears. Can we not? Oh, you're one of these! I've fought you before. Ow. Die. Wow, dude. Is that like an elite enemy? Is that just like a special dude? This is the big chapel thing that we were just inside killing the mini-boss. Look at this, man. It's beautiful. I want to go up and scale it, but I saw this from a distance and I want to scale this too. What is this, dude? What am I looking? Whoa, okay. Stronger elite enemy. This is a big boy. And he's dead because he is no match for my power. Look at this big chunk of meat. Break it, I guess. Ooh, what is that? The Mace of Spirits. Repose? Hello? Special weapon? I haven't found many of these before. Let's put the mace on, dude. Is that an... Is this an exit? What is this door? Oh, it is an exit. We're out. Cool. I didn't have to use the Skype. Oh, dude, that's new, and there's so many cool new things. I had no idea I could do that. We can also just zip back over to our little hub section, fly up here using all of our cool little jump nodes. And this has actually been reworked a little bit from when the playtest was on. So we have our usual doors. There are extra doors that will come along later by the looks of it. First door is an interesting one. This is our Hall of Reflection. So our character has levels. Right now, we are level 3. You can see up here. Leveling up will increase our default all damage, I believe. It's currently plus 10% because I went from 1 to 3. I think it's a 5% increase per level. We zip along over here, and this fancy doorway acts as our level up. If we walk through it, we can spend Ichor in order to level up. It says right here it costs 2,000 to level, so if you ever want to know how much you need, or if you're close to it, we can level up in one time, basically. Walk through, bam, we're now level 4. We could walk back through it if I had enough, but I do not. Now, our overall damage plus 15%. So it's very important to level up your character and spend your Ichor here to continue ramping up your damage to make it easier to deal with problems. Now, there were 2 doors back outside in the main hub area. One was blue, one was red. Thankfully, we have shortcuts to go to each room. We have the Molten Cathedral. This is where we're going to cleanse our items. I love these little jump spots here to make me get through quicker. We come up and talk to the gong. It's gonna ring. Equipment cleansed. So all of that stuff that we had before that was corrupted and bad and all that, it's all now regular loot. We can't lose it if we die. We can keep it, we can equip it, we can enjoy it. Now, while we're in here, we can walk around and you can see all of our equipment is on display. We can spend Ichor to increase the power. I don't have one in that section yet. We can use Ichor to increase the power of our items. So this Vampiric Heart, for example, if I want, I can spend a little bit of Ichor. Let's do it. Pow. And it's gone from a green to a blue. So all of the effects that are on it will get stronger. This way, if you find items and gear out in the wild that are really, really good, that have the right affixes, because as you might be able to tell, all of the gear has an initial affix, the first thing, which is like the Blood Rapture, but that second one, Suppress, is randomized. There are different ones that you can get on various things. And if I come over to my swords, hopefully every single one of my Barbarian Blades have the exact same affixes. This is amazing. So you'll see that we have Suppress on this, Execution, Focus Fire, Slayer of the Oddvrats, but you'll be able to find different affixes that cater to your playstyle and that work good for you. So if you find an item or a weapon that has the exact affixes you want, it's the correct thing that you want, come in here and spend some ichor and you can upgrade it. You don't have to worry about finding them already made at the right rarities. In addition to that, there is now a new section over here, which I'm very pleased to see, which basically allows you to drop and get rid of items that you don't need, because previously we had no way of destroying or selling items. Now you can ditch things you don't want to sate primeval or firstborn artifacts. Once you've sated these items, we can come up to here, and this badass looking altar will combine two fully sated primeval items into a firstborn item. And before I forget to mention it, we have the difficulty sliders over here. So we have various different skulls that can be used to adjust how strong the enemies are, how difficult the runs are. So we have, for example, the toughness slider. This affects the health of enemies. It is currently on the bottom rung. I'm going to bring it up a little bit so that enemies are a little bit beefier. I want them to not die too quickly. But we can also adjust quantity. This affects how many enemies there are. Now, the more enemies there are, the more enemies there are, the more ichor I get, and the more loot that I get. So I'm going to be very greedy and very risky and dump all of my difficulty into how many enemies spawn. If we come back in and go find a spot where some dudes are, like right down here, there were originally 2 enemies, there's now like 7 of them. There's a lot more dudes here. They also shouldn't die anywhere near as quickly, but I have just upgraded myself, so they're probably a little bit still on the weak side. These are basic enemies. We'll see a lot more dudes down. Oh yeah, dude, look at how many enemies there are in this crypt now. Look at it, dude. Throw this out there. Oh yeah. I love it. Look at the carnage. In my previous video, I had people asking about things like head bob, because the camera bobbing was giving them some slight motion sickness issues or headaches. I'm pleased to say that there is a camera bobbing slider in the options now. I've had this turned all the way off, but just to give you an idea, the default is set to 1. So as you're running around, you can see that the bob is pretty noticeable now that I've turned it back on. Sir, you're interrupting me. Please die. What is that? Oh, it's a tree. So if I come back into the options and turn that all the way down, you'll notice that it goes away literally entirely and just turns into, you know, usual non-bob movement. You cannot contain me. Like I said, dude, the parkour is a lot of fun. If you find ways that you can get to places, you do it, man. Just do it. Ooh, what's that over there? Look at that bridge. Wait. What is this, dude? What's this congregation all about? Hello? Oh, that's another sky node over there. I see you. I also see a huge mass of enemies. All right, let's get in here and get some spin going. Throw it in here, stand in the middle, lure them to walk into it. And, smash, dude. Charge it. Smash all the way through. See that? We can use our momentum, we can carve up multiple enemies. It does suck having to fight 2 of you, but we'll manage, we'll make do. Throw this out. Whoa, there we go. That kick came in handy. He hit me. Throw that at him, and he dies. There is treasure waiting inside. Hello. I would like that. That's a blue Viper blade, right? That's actually... That's a light blue... Wait a minute. That's... Excuse me? That's a primeval Viper's blade. There's a tower over here that I kind of want to get into. Hello, boys. I like how we're all just chilling over here. Just, you know, hanging out. Having a good time. Ooh, purpley boys. Hello. Ooh. Ooh, was that another primeval? Dude, there's a decent bit of loot to be gained if we just add more enemies onto the map. Bump up the amount of... Oh god, is that 3 of them? Don't bump it up. Don't bump it up. Don't listen to me, I'm an idiot. I clearly have no idea what I'm... Did I just kill them all? Nah, man, listen to me. Listen to me. Bump them up, add as many enemies as you want. So I'm sure there's more that we have to explore on this map, but I've got a pretty healthy dose of ichor, as well as a full inventory of just weapons and new runes and just all sorts of goodies. So we want to go home, look straight up, ask for a portal. There it is. We can also just ask the master for a way to get home. Now, the dash charges keep coming back as you're traversing around, so you can just like sky hop almost, you know, as I shouldn't say indefinitely, but you can get a lot of distance, as you can see right there if you start from the top. When it comes to traveling, you can get a lot of ground covered. There we go. There's our exit. We're out of here. Over to the mirror, and I've got probably like what, 3, maybe like 3, maybe like 2 levels. Level 5, level 6, and we don't have enough. We need 5.5 to get to level 7. Let's put on this poison vial for now. My critical hits will apply poison. I like it. I like it. The primeval Viper's Blade. It's very fast. It does less overall damage per hit than the Barbarian, but because of its speed, it's higher DPS. Now, it has a satiety effect at the bottom. Physical damage is increased by 2%. That's a satiety level of 1. So I get to see what the satiety stuff is like now and destroy some of our less than desirable weapons. Okay, I've dumped everything in there. Can we satiate? Oh my goodness. Whoa, dude. Whoa, dude. Cool. It's time to test out this Viper's Blade and see if the poison proc is as good as it sounds on paper. The weapon itself should do a lot of damage though. Ooh. There's the poison. Whoa, dude. That poison does a lot of damage. Hold on a minute. What? Dude. Cool. I really like this poison ticking, man. I'm not sure poison was this good in the previous playtest, but if it has been this whole time, I've been missing out. This is really good. Now, the Necrosever area is really cool and acts as a way of easing players into the game, but what I'm not finding over there are new power spheres to collect. So I'm going to head off into the next area and find some of those spheres so that I can unlock my Rune Infusion and Lightning Sting. I see my orb. I knew I remembered where at least one of these was. The only problem is I've got these awful invisible dudes to deal with, but if I can kill one of them... There we go. If I can kill one... The others should get... Oh, I'm poisoned. Now I'm poisoned. The others should get poisoned and tick damage. If you can get like a damage over time or a special effect on the... Oh, I'm going to get these guys first. On the invisible dudes, much easier to see where they are. Damn! Power! Give me my mote of power. So now I can unlock... Rune Infusion. When I use it, it enchants my weapon, letting me do electrifying blows. But it also, I believe, recharges and powers up all of my runes on the weapon immediately. So if I waste this and just do a couple of chops to get all those runes to go away. Runes are empty. If I pop it, we get full runes and an electric boost to our weapon. So it's pretty good for getting an immediate rune strike if you need it. But the electric strikes are also really nice. And the attack speed increase, I think, is there as well, right? Oh, yes, 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 yes. Perish. The next mote of power. I can finally get my Lightning Sting, which is probably my favorite ability of the bunch. It allows me, if I can find an enemy... I think I've killed everyone here. Give me a moment. It allows me to do a really cool aerial attack, where I jump back, time slows down a little bit, and you can rush in and hit enemies. And something I mentioned in previous videos is the ability to steer this attack by wiggling your attack left and right, and you can hit multiple enemies at the same time using it. Let's fire it off in here and see if we can wipe out a couple of dudes. There's a little group right there. There we go. You can hit more than one dude at a time. If you use your dashes as you land into it, you can kind of force the issue some more. So if I do this, Well, he just died from collateral damage. Now, something to be mindful of is that the satiety of your weapons does go down as you're engaging in combat. I got my satiety up to level 6 for a total of 12% more physical damage, and it's gone down to 4 now just by playing on this stage and killing some dudes. So if you want to keep your weapon at maximum performance, you want to keep feeding it items whenever you're done. But it does seem pretty generous with how the satiety decides to go down. It doesn't go down too quickly as to make it a chore to constantly keep upgrading. But we do eventually want to turn these primevals that are fully sated into firstborn weapons anyway, so once you kind of get used to the flow of combat and you get, you know, more accustomed to going from pack of enemy to pack of enemy, rapidly picking up all of your stuff, grab your meats, and then zoom on over to the next, to the next pack of enemies, you'll find that you kind of get used to this really quick combat flow where you're kind of weaving in and out, quickly slaying enemies, put weapon away, move on to the next. And you can end up clearing an area way quicker than you ever expected to, just because of, you know, the snowballing effect, new sky node. Now, in the first playtest, this little destroyed building up here on this hill used to be the entrance to the main dungeon where you can find your first major boss fight. But in the last playtest, they changed it, and I believe it's still not the entrance, because the entrance is to the castle way back over there. That's how you get into the first major dungeon. If it's the same as the previous playtest, there should be a couple of invisible assassin dudes up here, yep, guarding the entrance where that looks like a sky node up there, but there's also special named... That's 4 invisible dudes. Alright. I guess there's normally 2 of them here. There we go. Smack you, throw this out. Didn't stay out very long. That's okay. I'm gonna swing into the ether and hope for the best. There's 1 left alive, right? Yep, right there. Ah. Ah. Throw it here. Come at me. There we go. I can bait him into walking into it. If I stand in my spinning blade, he can't do anything about it. Now we come inside and there should be a... Yes, special weapon. Look at this. The snakes. Now, I think you can come and consistently loot the snakes. I'm not sure if you can only get it once or twice or multiple times, but I think you can get it multiple times if you, I don't know, destroy it or lose it or something. Very cool weapon. On hit, it has a chance to apply poison. It is a dual blade weapon. It's pretty cool, dude. Not bad at all. Not as cool as my primeval poison-inducing blade, but, you know, it's not bad. What I want to do now is get up here, because we have a node to collect. If I just do a little bit of and then a little bit of and then I see we want to go up here, and then we go up here, bam, sky node. And now while you're here, jump down to the beach off the side of where that building is, because down here there's a bunch of enemies, and because there's a bunch of enemies here, break my meat right here. Because there's a bunch of enemies, they're probably guarding something. I wonder what they could be guarding. Oh, wait. I see it. It's a moat of power. Come and get your moat of power. Yes, dude. Now, because I have committed war crime levels of pain, misery, and despair onto my enemies, I think it's time we take this fat 18,000 haul, ask Sky Daddy for a portal, and head on out. Back at the main hub, first priority, leveling up. I do want to power up my gear a little bit more, but that's going to take Ichor, and at the moment, I'd rather get my main level increased to get that passive damage boost. So 1 level, 2 level, level 9. That gives us a passive boost of 40% more damage. It's just a really good bonus to get, but we do still want to cleanse all of our gear and take a look and see if there's anything I can do. I kind of want to upgrade my vampiric heart a little bit more. I think it's only at blue right now. If I can get that better, bigger, more powerful, that'd be very nice. Now, what do I have as far as new equipables? We have a horse over here. With my weapon sheath, I can now jump an extra time, and the jump height is increased. Good for traversal. I might put that on for now. That's just, you know, 1, 2... Yeah, look at that. Whoa. Look at that jump. Dude, I'm so floaty when I jump with this now. Hold on, I've just noticed what this thing here says. I was looking at the symbiosis command sphere that just says it merges 2 primevals into a firstborn, but the extra spheres down here where you actually socket the items tells a bit of an extra story here. So it transfers the first enchantment from the item below onto this item, which replaces the second enchantment and destroys the item in the process. Both have to be primeval. So what that tells me is, hypothetically speaking, if I had my Barbarian Blade in the top slot and the Viper's Blade in the bottom slot, the Barbarian Blade would inherit Poison the Blood and would lose Focus Fire. But because of this, what I could also do is level up my Barbarian Blade a little bit to Primeval, and I could transfer the Rage effect that I'm so fond of onto the Viper's Blade to replace the Slayer of Otvrat's effect, so I can Poison the Blood and rage at the same time. And because I'd be raging, critting, and swinging quickly on a fast weapon like the Viper's Blade, it would kind of be going off, dude. Wait, this might be an insane combination. This has me reconsidering every weapon I've looted so far, because some of them have some very unique first affix effects, like the Gratitude of the Restless over here, where I get a stackable buff, or even the Bell Ringer that gives me a bell that I can hit that does psychic damage. I've got this necklace over here that boosts my psychic damage. There's a lot that I could do with merging weapons now and combining the ultimate damage dealer. I have a goal in mind. I've decided what I want to try and do is find a very fast weapon. The Viper's Blade is fast, but I need faster, and I need something with a better first effect that I want, more so than the Poison. The Poison is okay. Get the Bell Ringer upgraded, because the Death Knell effect is unironically very, very fun to use. And I want to pair this because the bell, whenever I do a little ding-a-ling on my bell, triggers psychic damage. I want to fuse the Screeching Necklet with something else and transfer that Stentorian posture or vice versa and have psychic plus something else on it. I'm going to show you what the Bell Ringer does real quick. So anytime I use an attack that triggers a knockback charge, it's supposed to work. There's a bell. Hit the bell. Psychic damage hits everyone in the area. Look, everyone's almost dead. And all I did was hit the bell once. Come here. Now, the bell is a little bit of a clunky weapon. It's a big hammer. It's going to be... Something interesting about the mace and hammer family is that when you do your spinning blade attack, you don't actually throw the weapon. You yourself spin. And whenever you do your sting from the sky, it's a big smash overhead. Now, for some of you, this is all really good. For others of you, you might go, ugh, I kind of like the spinning blade being a ranged attack. And that's where all of these options come together. Where's my bell? Bonk. And everyone dies to psychic damage nearby. We're going to come over here and kill some more dudes, thanks to the power of Ring-a-Ling-Ding-a-Ling. And the thing that I want to have work with this is... Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, Ring-a-Ling. Another one up here. It's so fun, dude. Now, right now, at this rarity and this strength, this isn't doing a lot because it's a green. This will get stronger as it upgrades, and I can transfer that effect over and put it on a firstborn weapon. That's going to be really, really good. I want a fast weapon because the quicker I can do my knockback attacks and the quicker I can combo into, say, throwing my weapons and having them spin on top of a bell, that's going to do a lot of damage, man. Hang on. Oos! Oos! You wish. You wish, goon. That's so... Dude, they're overlapping. Look at all the bells! I don't understand how the bells work, but I like that it's working this way. That's disgusting. Ding-a-ling, bitches! Oh, here we go. And they're all dead. They're all dead. Just like, I can't wait to put this on another weapon, man. I can't wait. It's gonna be disgusting. If this actually works and I can put this on a fast boy weapon. Oh, there's our Ring-a-Ling. Another Ring-a-Ling. They're all dying. This weapon's a green. It's a green and they're all done. You too. Come here. Disgusting. And with that, it's time to start wrapping things up, but I am working on upgrading my arsenal. For example, the bell ringer is now prime evil, so I can start feeding it. I also get a crit power increase by feeding this, which is nuts as a secondary effect. I don't know if the satiety effects are randomized or if they're also just baked into the weapon. If they're randomized, then there's even more like potential build opportunity for finding your perfect item and putting things together. Whoa. Whoa. I had one left over. I had just enough to get it all the way to 6. Hang on. With that in place, I can go and see at least what this is going to look like, and that's going to result... aha! It does work exactly how I think it does. A firstborn weapon with the death knell as its secondary effect. But I am going to have to wrap things up here, but do not worry, I'm going to swing back in with some more Voin because I have to go dungeon diving and boss slaying. Don't worry, I didn't forget to show you those treasures I promised earlier. I just hope you didn't skip to this part of the video. So when you begin, there's a tutorial section, but the cheeky dev has hidden some loot here that should help you get a head start. First, after you drop down from this spot and clear the enemies, just behind you there's your first chest tucked away in a corner. Continue along, and just after you smash an ice block, you'll be ambushed by enemies coming through a wall on your right. Go through this new opening to get your first mote of power. Continue forward, but before you exit through the small hole, there's a very slightly distinct block of ice. Yes, you can break this. The dev is actually mad for how well hidden this one is. Lastly, in the room with the anchor spots, turn around from the top and do some super dashes to reach your final chest. Now I say final, but these are just the ones that I could find. If you come across any that I missed, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. Another absolutely massive thank you goes out to Voin for sponsoring this video. As I said in the beginning, this is a solo developer game, and I'm very, very, very impressed with what he's put together so far. This is a very fun time if you're looking for some hack and slash RPG action. If you like character building and putting together optimal weapon loadouts and creating different builds, I'm happy to say that this game has that. I wasn't sure how deep the building would go, but that weapon fusing, item fusing mechanic alone is going to add many, 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 many hours of potential theory crafting and building for me at the very least, so I can come up with my ultimate favorite build. But with all of that said and done, I've got to get out of here. I hope you guys have enjoyed Voin. Reminder, you can use my links in the description and in the pinned comment to head over to Steam and pick up Voin for yourselves on a juicy 10% discount now that it's released into early access. I will see you guys again next time. Have a good one.